Program.
Thank you very much.
Duduzi, let's begin by just talking about your sort of life in prison, and firstly, what were you in prison for?
Yeah, before I say what I was in for, can I just correct here? I'm Duduzi Mahlangu, not Mahlangu.
Ah, my correction. Thank you very much for
Yes,
correcting me.
Yes. I was in for it's robbery, attempt murder, hijack, and in possession of legal firearm and ammunition.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yes.
that was what you served. You were sentenced to 20 years in prison. You served 10 of those years.
That's correct. Actually, I didn't serve 10, but I've spent a decade of my life behind bars.
Yeah.
I've spent, it's 8 years of my sentence. Then I was paroled for 12 years.
Okay, paroled for 12
Yes.
years. You know, we often get mixed messages of what life is really like in prison. Some people say it's like a vacation. Other people say it's really tough. And it's almost like a hell on earth. What was your experience?
Take it from me. Life behind bars is not a child's play. It's the survival of the fittest. It's very challenging. It's not a nice place to be at.
Yeah.
It drains you emotionally, physically, mentally. It needs you to be strong in these aspects. Because if you are not, believe you me, it destroys you.
Yeah.
There's nothing nice, and it depends in individual person. How does he or she take it? If we are positive, it can have a positive impact on you, as it did on me.
Yeah. Did you feel that there were enough mechanisms in place for you to be rehabilitated inside of this prison?
Didn't say so, because there are things that needs to be there that are not there. Mm-hmm. For instance, what helped me is what we call it scarce skills. That's how they put it on correctional services. In psychologists, there are no psychologists there, because people who are inside, all they need is counseling. So you'll only find out around Mpumalanga they've got only about 3 psychologists that has to attend all these correctional centers.
Yeah.
Then it's not enough.
Yeah, that is. I mean, it's almost vital that you do have that therapy while you're in there, because I mean that's what will lead you to finding out what's making you commit these crimes, finding out how you can change yourself. So you also speak about, in the beginning, your answer was saying that it's a decision you made, that you wanted a change, and it was in your mind to change. And you did your matric.
Yes.
You did your matric in prison. Is that correct?
Yes.
What was it like studying there?
It's not an easy thing, because of the day-to-day running of correctional centers. And as I've said, it's one stressful place whereby you have to deal with other inmates who will discourage you. You have to deal with some other kind of things. The family. There are a lot of things that are involved, and at the very same time you need to focus.
Yeah.
You need to have the mentality to put other things aside and focus on what you are doing at that particular time, of which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
So it all goes back to the decision that you take, that this is important. Not that other things are not important, but for now I just need to focus on this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not even sure if I've asked you, but do you feel that you're a changed man, that you're rehabilitated, and that you will not enter into a life of crime again?
Yes, I can say so.
Why? What changed in you?
There are things that we do, not being aware the reason behind our deeds. So to me, being incarcerated, it was a blessing in disguise, because that's when I had a chance of introspection. Then when I did that, including the therapeutic session that that were given to me, it made me to realize that some of the decisions that I took were influenced by my upbringing, of which is something that I neglected. I knew, but I neglected.
Yeah.
Then by talking to about it, it made me to realize how important to attend such issues. Then for now, what I did when I was still inside, I focused more in these soft skills programs, because I felt that our country needs such programs.
Yeah, yeah. How do you motivate others? Because I know that amongst other things, you're a motivational speaker. What is it that you say?
Yes.
What do you do?
Mostly I talk about change, that change is possible. I used to be a drug addict. I used to drink. I used to smoke. I was also an abuser.
Yeah,
All those kind of things.
yeah,
And being inside made me to realize that I was not the person that I'm supposed to be. So when I talk to people, more especially these youngsters, I tell them about my life experience. Because right now, as we speak, I'm 14 years clean. I don't drink, I don't smoke.
Well
I don't
done.
do drugs anymore.
Yeah,
So it's a battle that I'm fighting every day.
yeah,
That is why when I go to people, I go to churches, I go to schools, and tell them about the decision. I deal mostly with decision making, because it all starts with the decision that we make. The decision we take today, it might not have an impact today, but one way or the other, it will have an impact on us 2-3 years down the line.
yeah.
So when I motivate these youngsters mostly, I tell them about the consequences of the decision they are taking today. Because I didn't wake up in the morning and decided to be what I was.
Yeah. Mduduzi, if you had to turn back the clock and not have committed the crime that you did and make that decision, do you think the person that you've become today, you would have become that person if you didn't go through what you've been through over the years? Do you think it's done you good?
Interestingly, so on my way here, we were talking about that with the person that I was coming with here. That if I can be given a chance to change one thing in my life or my experience, I wouldn't change a thing, because I wouldn't be who or what I am today.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've been motivated by you and inspired by you, and I think a lot of people can. And to understand that you've made a mistake, you realized you've made a mistake, and you're a different man. And we thank you for coming forward, for talking to us. And it's been, I must say, it's been a very enthralling interview. Thank you very, very much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was Mduduzi Mahlangu. He was released after spending, I think he said 8 years in prison. He was there for 8 years in prison, and he just feels like a changed man. And I'm sure you can see for yourself how much it's done for him.